Hi, I'm John Atack,
Hi, I'm Ursula Wake, and this is Lyrical Wax.
and today we are going to talk about Elvis Costello. And a large part of my interest is to say that millions of us love great songs, but fewer and fewer people seem to be attracted to poetry. And poetry is Samuel Taylor Coleridge, best words, best order. And I think that by looking at brilliant lyricists, and Elvis Costello is one of the best, that we can understand that poetry has this other way of being expressed, and so we can perhaps look to poetry. Now, his career began right here with My Aim Is True, which it was, and he taught us all how to dance at this point. I remember an interview with him where he's going on about all of these rotten bands and how they mime on TV. And I bought the videos for his first songs, and he was miming on all of them. So just like if you're watching Declan McManus, just like to point out that wasn't exactly accurate. So we go from here, which is
1977,
through to Hey Clockface, which has just come out, 2020. Along the way, he's done some very interesting things which people may not be fully aware of. He's made several albums with T-Bone Burnett. This is one of them. Secret, Profane and Sugarcane, the great country and western producer. It's got banjos on it. He's also recorded with the Brodsky Quartet, one of the famous string quartets who've done all sorts of fabulous things. Very, very interesting album, I thought, the Juliet Letters. And as a singer, he's really interesting. I thought, when I first heard about him doing jazz standards, that it seemed absolutely the wrong kind of voice, but he can manage just about anything. He also worked with the opera singer Sophie van Otter to produce, and they're not all his songs on here, and it's quite an interesting mixture, hearing her sing in the operatic style. Very lovely voice. He also wrote a ballet score, which is Midsummer Night's Dream, a bit Shakespeare. And this is with the London Symphony Orchestra. How do you pronounce that? Il Sogno?
Il Sogno, it means the dream.
The Dream. With the amazing, what's his name, Michael Tilson Thomas conducting. So really famous conductor as well. He's made about 30 albums over the years. He never stops. And so we're going to take a dozen of his songs, look at the lyrics purely as poetry, as their lyric form. And Ursula is going to start with, I believe, the song that first attracted you to Elvis Costello, or Declan McManus.
Yeah, so this is really early. It's from his first album, and it's Watching the Detectives. And I still think this is a real one-off song. We're just dealing with the lyrics here, but it is a remarkable listen, and it just completely stood out. It reminds me of the common room in our school in the fourth year, now year 10, and you don't really get common rooms anymore, but back in the luxurious days, when even in bog standard state schools you had common rooms and people would bring in things to play, and one of the ones that I brought in was Watching the Detectives. So, and these are the lyrics. Nice girls, not one with a defect, cellophane shrink wrapped, so correct. Red dogs under illegal legs. She looks so good that he gets down and begs. She is watching the detectives. Oh, he's so cute. She is watching the detectives when they shoot, 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 shoot. They beat him up until the teardrops start. But he can't be wounded because he's got no heart. Long shot of that jumping sign, visible shivers running down my spine. Cut the baby taking off her clothes. Close-up of the sign that says, we never close. You snatch a tune, you match a cigarette. She pulls the eyes out with a face like a magnet. I don't know how much more of this I can take. She's filing her nails while they're dragging the lake. She's watching the detectives. Oh, he's so cute. She's watching the detectives when they shoot, 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 shoot. They beat him up until the teardrops start, but he can't be wounded because he's got no heart. You think you're alone until you realise you're in it. Now fear is here to stay. Love is here for a visit. They call it instant justice when it's past the legal limit. Someone scratching at the window. I wonder who is it? The detectives come to check if you belong to the parents who are ready to hear the worst about their daughter's disappearance. Though it nearly took a miracle to get you to stay, it only took my little fingers to blow you away. Just like watching the detectives. Don't get cute. It's just like watching the detectives. I get so angry when the teardrops start, but he can't be wounded because he's got no heart. Watching the detectives. It's just like watching the detectives. When I was looking at things to choose, because you were choosing quite a few, when I was looking at things to choose, and I was sort of thinking about tone and content and everything, and there was a lot of sad, angry, bitter, and there's quite a lot of that runs through, and sometimes he focuses on characters, telling something from a particular character's point of view, doesn't he, very well. And then sometimes it's a narrative, sometimes it's a portrait of love, which is quite common in his work as well. Yep.
Absolutely. I think I was introduced to Elvis Costello by my brother, who's the singer-songwriter Andy Cavan, in whose band I played when I was a teenager many, many years ago, before these songs were released. Mm-hmm. And of course Elvis Costello came up alongside punk, but was never really part of punk. He was a very competent musician. The very thought out. It wasn't like Sham 69 or going to bang things around. One of the things that fascinated me, and I only found it out later, is that his first and second albums are actually two different bands, and yet they sound very much the same. So the arrangement is down to him. And as a drummer, I took his stuff aside and started working out what the drum lines were. And it seemed to me that possibly he wrote the drum lines because they're not the typical way that a drummer would approach pieces. They're percussive rather than the usual 4-beat. And often they're quite interesting uses of the drum kit. The drum kit is pushed right to the front. There's that very loud snare drum sound that carries everything along. You've also got his spiky guitar playing and that little Farfisa organ sound that twinkles its way through. And when he's singing these songs, he's quite nasal. He's quite, harsh in places. This is, I think, one of the great anti-war anthems. It's from the album Armed Forces, which is a bit of a clue to that, from 1979, and it's called Oliver's Army. Oliver's Army, of course, would be Oliver Cromwell's army, which performed genocide in Ireland in the 1640s. Don't start that talking. I could talk all night. My mind goes sleepwalking while I'm putting the world to rights. Call careers information. Have you got yourself an occupation? Oliver's army is here to stay. Oliver's army are on their way. And I would rather be anywhere else but here today. There I was at Checkpoint Charlie. He didn't crack a smile. But it's no laughing party when you've been on the murder mile. Only takes one itchy trigger, one more widow, one less white nigger. Oliver's army is here to stay. Oliver's army are on their way. And I would rather be anywhere else than here today. Hong Kong is up for grabs. London is full of Arabs. We could be in Palestine, overrun by the Chinese line with the boys from the Mersey and the Thames and the Tyne. But there's no danger. It's a professional career, though it could be arranged with just a word in Mr. Churchill's ear. If you're out of luck or out of work, we could send you to Johannesburg. Oliver's army is here to stay. Oliver's army are on their way. And I would rather be anywhere else but here today. And I would rather be anywhere else but here today. And I would rather be anywhere else but here today. So there's just one reference after another to Checkpoint Charlie, which was the checkpoint between East and West Berlin. The Murder Mile, which is a reference to the Northern Ireland conflict. Hong Kong is up for grabs. The withdrawal of the British had not happened at this point, still a British foreign territory. And I presume We Could Send You to Johannesburg is about the huge amount of British ex-soldiers who went and worked as mercenaries for the white apartheid South African government. So just a word in Mr. Churchill's ear.
It's a good example of his angry stuff, isn't it?
And a politically relevant statement about the militarism of our society. Great Britain is a member of one of the 5 permanent members of the United Nations Security Council, and along with the other 4 members, one of the 5 biggest arms dealers in the world. There are some paradoxes here.
Yes.
Okay.
And we've now got a change of tone.
A quick change of tune.
Change of tone and content, haven't we?
This is from the album Trust in 1981, and we are, you may notice, running chronologically. And it's called New Lace Sleeves. Bad lovers, face to face in the morning, shy apologies and polite regrets. Slow dancers that left no warning of outraged glances and indiscreet yawning. Good manners and bad breath get you nowhere. Even presidents have newspaper lovers. Ministers go crawling under covers. She's no angel, he's no saint. They're all covered up with whitewashed grease paint. And you say, the teacher never told you anything but white lies. But you never see the lies and you believe. Oh, you know, you have been captured. You feel so civilized. And you look so pretty in your new lace sleeves. The salty lips of the socialite sisters with their continental fingers that have never seen working blisters. Oh, I know they've got their problems. I wish I was one of them. They say Daddy's coming home soon with his sergeant stripes and his Empire mug and spoon. No more fast buck. And when are they going to learn their lesson? When are they going to stop all these victory processions? And you say, the teacher never told you anything but white lies, but you never see the lies, and you believe. Oh, you know, you've been captured, you feel so civilized, and you look so pretty in your new lace sleeves.
It's interesting. I thought that's one of them, one of his songs that I find quite hard to pin down and understand. I can understand some of the references. When I look at the whole, I'm sort of not quite sure I understand the whole thing.
Yeah,
but it doesn't matter because there are poems, not just song lyrics, but there are poems that are like that. But there's something else that you can get out of the words, the images, the sound of the words. Yeah,
and it's very striking that the socialite sisters who have their problems. Oh, I wish I was one of them. I wish I was one of the problems that these socialite sisters have.
Ah, right. Yes,
and he just throws that in as an aside. That even though he despises them, quite evidently they're pretty. So he fancies them too.
Yeah.
God, men, eh?
So from the album Punch the Clock in 1983, this is written with Clive Langer. This is a song that is another social comment, similar to Oliver's Army, another anti-war one.
It was a hip-hop song for the brilliant Robert Wyatt.
And this is called Shipbuilding. Is it worth it? A new winter coat and shoes for the wife, and a bicycle on the boy's birthday. It's just a rumour that was spread around town by the women and children. Soon we'll be shipbuilding. Well, I ask you. The boy said, Dad, they're going to take me to task, but I'll be back by Christmas. It's just a rumour that was spread around town. Somebody said that someone got filled in for saying that people get killed in the result of this shipbuilding. With all the will in the world, diving for dear life when we could be diving for pearls. It's just a rumour that was spread around town. A telegram or a picture postcard. Within weeks they'll be reopening the shipyards and notifying the next of kin. Once again. It's all we're skilled in. We will be shipbuilding, with all the will in the world, diving for dear life, when we could be diving for pearls. Oh, both you and I really get got by that, don't we? Very sad.
And it was a direct response to the Falklands War and the gotcha attitude of the time, that it was okay to go and murder these argies. And he was one of many songwriters who addressed that particular problem at that time, but it's a very poignant song.
Yeah, it is. I'll Wear It Proudly. It's from King of America, 1986. I hate these flaming curtains. They're not the colour of your hair. I hate these strip lights. They're not so undoing as your stare. I hate the buttons on your shirt when all I want to do is tear. I hate this bloody big bed of mine when you're not here. Well, I finally found someone to turn me upside down and nail my feet up where my head should be. If they had a king of fools, then I could wear that crown, and you can all die laughing, 'cause I'll wear it proudly. Well, you seem to be shivering, dear, and the room is awfully warm, in the white and scarlet billows that subside beyond the storm. You have this expression, dear, no words could take its place, and I wear it like a badge that you put all over my face. I finally found someone to turn me upside down and nail my feet up where my head should be. If they had a king of fools, then I could wear that crown, and you can all die laughing, 'cause I'll wear it proudly. I'll wear it proudly through the dives and the dance halls, if you'll wear it proudly through the snake pits and catcalls. Like a 15-year-old kid wears a vampire kiss. If you don't know what is wrong with me, you don't know what you've missed. We are arms and legs wrapped round more than my memory tonight. When the bell rang out and the air outside turned blue from fright. But in shameless moments you made more of me than just a mess. And a handful of eagerness says, "What do you suggest?" Well, I finally found someone to turn me upside down and nail my feet up where my head should be. If they had a king of fools, then I could wear that crown, and you can all die laughing, 'cause I'll wear it proudly. That is a great love song.
It is indeed. I think one of the things that I like is the vernacular, that writers who use everyday language and move it. Guy Garvey with Elbows is especially good at just talking to you. Bob Dylan, began the trend really, I think, for pop singers when he crossed over from the protest movement and to his own amazement became a superstar. With there's a song called New Amsterdam by Elvis Costello where he says, "Shall I speak double Dutch to a real double Duchess?" And you're in this little loop of meaning. This is a song, we're moving on to the album Mighty Like a Rose, and roses are very mighty. I think people should be aware of that, from 1991.
Never underestimate a rose.
Never underestimate a rose. A rose by any other name would be as dangerous. The song's called Hurry Down Doomsday, The Bugs Are Taking Over. So, a happy little carol. The man in the corner of this picture has a sinister purpose in the teeming temple of the railroad kings. He's planting a trashy paperback book for accidental purchase, containing all the secrets of life and other useless things. But I can't bring myself to look. Wake up, zombie, write yourself another book. You want to scream and shout, my little flaxen lout? Hurry down, Doomsday, the bugs are taking over. She sleeps with the shirt of a late great country singer stretched out on her poor jealous husband's pillow. In time, you can turn these obsessions into careers, while the parents of those kidnapped children start the bidding for their tears. But I can't bring myself to look. Wake up, zombie! Get yourself off the book. You want to scream and shout, my little waxen lout. Hurry down, Doomsday, the bugs are taking over. Forget about Beethoven, Rembrandt and rock and roll. Forget about Mickey Mouse, Marlboro and Coca-Cola. Forget about Cadillac, Mercedes and Toyota. Forget about Buddha, Allah, Jesus and Jehovah. Hurry down, Doomsday, the bugs are taking over. Any day now, a giant insect mutation will swoop down and devour the white man's burden, starting out with all of the sensitive ones. Better make like a fly if you don't want to die. Look out, there goes Gordon. But I can't bring myself to think. Wake up, zombie. Kick up a big stink. You want to scream and shout, my little Saxon lout. Hurry down, Doomsday. The bugs are taking over.
Another pretty angry one.
Yep.
I like the change from flaxen lout to waxen lout to Saxon lout.
Yeah.
Yeah, excellent.
Yep. Little Kafkaesque there. Bit of a metamorphosis into a big bug.
This is one from an album he did that John talked about earlier with the Brodsky Quartet in '93 called the Juliet Letters. Who do you think you are? The hunted look, the haunted grace, the empty laugh that you cultivate. You fall into that false embrace and kiss the air about her face. Who do you think you are? The très bon mot you almost quote from your quiver of literary darts. 1,000 or so tuneless violins thrilling your cheap little heart. Who do you think you are? My cigarette burns right down to the ash. My coffee cup is unstained. The waiter hovers close at hand, his courtesy strained. Who do you think you are? I close with my regards. Well, I'm the red-faced gentleman caught in this picture postcard. Who do you think you are? Trying my best to make the best of your absence, though the joke gets tired and sordid. Seashell hearts get trampled underfoot, punchlines unrewarded. But even at this distance, it's not easy to accept the vision that I chase returns when I least expect it. I've fallen from your tired embrace. I kiss the air around the place that should be your face.
Yep.
That's clever, that, isn't it?
And they are given as a series of letters, the lyrics with the fantastic Brodsky Quartet behind. So, we're not in rock and roll territory anymore. There are a series of songs. Okay, now we move up, racing up towards the present. We get to 1996. This is from the album All This Useless Beauty. And the song is called The Other End of the Telescope. Shall we agree that just this once, I'm going to change my life until it's just as tiny or important as you like? And in time, we won't even recall that we spoke words that turned out to be as big as smoke that disappears in the air. There's always something that's smouldering somewhere. I know it don't make a difference to you, but oh, it sure made a difference to me. You'll see me off in the distance, I hope, at the other end of the telescope. The promise of indulgence in my confidential voice. approached immortal danger. But you'll never know how close. Then down the hall I overheard such a heavenly choir. They interrupted my evil designs. One day you're up in the clouds. The next you're down with the sweet Adelines. Lie down, baby. Now don't say a word. There, baby, your vision is blurred. Your head is so sore from all of that thinking. I don't want to hurt you now, but I think you're shrinking. Your half-naked ambition, and you're half out of your wits, or several tiny fractions that this portrait still omits. And it's so hard to pick the receiver up when I call. I never noticed you could be so small. The answer was under your nose, but the question never arose. I know it don't make a difference to you, but oh, it sure made a difference to me, 'cause late in the evening as I sit here moping with a bamboo needle on a shellac of Chopin and the cast iron heart that you failed to tear open at the other end of the telescope.
Very interesting.
This bamboo needle on a shellac of Chopin.
Right, so this next one is a song from an album that, as John was saying, he did an album with the opera singer Sophie von Otter, and this is one of those songs. So this is from 2001, and the song's called No Wonder. I stole a glance at my reflection, though these days I tend to hurry by. How pale the rose of my complexion, how strange the knowing look that's in my eye. But when the springtime was ablaze, you took my hand, you held my gaze. There is no wonder there, I learned my lesson well, no need to wonder where that girl has gone. There is a secret no one knows. I set my face, I changed my clothes. I dreamed I stood as you were passing, just as the horse-drawn carriage sped away, of petticoats in puddles dragging, and my high-button boots were splashed with clay. But when the summer was in flame, you broke your word, denied my name. There is no wonder there. I learned my lesson well, no need to wonder where that girl has gone. But as the winter drags along, it blurs your sense of right and wrong. There is no wonder there. I learned my lesson well. No need to wonder where that girl has gone. We haven't really managed to find many cheerful love songs or other songs.
Here's a lovely
Mr. McManus,
happy tune. Yeah.
He does it so well. We all have a furrow to plough, and not being happy appears to be Elvis Costello's furrow to plough.
The Peter Hamill, who is the singer and lyricist for Van de Graaff Generator, was once asked, why he was so miserable. And he said, I don't know what you mean. He said, well, all of these songs. And he said, I think that's probably... I'm actually a very happy person, and I write these songs to expel this.
Yeah,
feeling,
that's where it goes, yeah.
So Elvis Costello is brilliant. He's always laughing and joking, It's like, when he comes around here, anyway. And, in the same vein, a happy tune from the album North in 2003. So we've moved into our century now. And this is called When Did I Stop Dreaming? You appeared when I was lost in reverie. If this is not a dream, it's my mistake. And now I lie in wait for dawn to break. I'm fairly sure I'm wide awake. Pardon me if I seem distant and strange. Just tell me, when did I stop dreaming? Let me get this straight. Did I hallucinate this fine and helpless feeling? Tell me, when did I stop dreaming? Let me know if you can help me explain. I didn't recognize the danger, but people will talk. Was I just sleepwalking? Footprints left on the ceiling? Tell me, when did I stop dreaming? Then, why should you care? This is my nightmare. Was this one dream too deep? Now, if I could only sleep, answer me. If you see the end in sight, I'm just a soul who's lost in limbo, neither bad or good. I'd spare you now if I could. One more teardrop, then I'll wake up. Tell me, when did I stop dreaming?
Very good. So the last one from me is called The Crooked Line from, so this is 2009, from Secret, Profane and Sugarcane. It's a good title. He has some good titles for his albums and his songs, let alone
And that was made
lyrics
with T-Bone Burnett, who's just a brilliant producer.
Yes, yeah.
And has banjo on, as I said. If you
You just have to imagine banjos. Does this track, because I don't know this album, does this track have banjos?
Oh, all over the place.
People watching need to imagine banjos
imagine
in their head.
the flourish of banjos on a summer night down in the deep savannah of
sort of imagining
Westphalia.
deliverance while listening to this. Yeah, you'll have to think
Go and buy
about
the
whatever you
album.
want.
It's probably on YouTube somewhere, this song.
The Crooked Line. Life isn't a game, won or tied, lost by either side. Then some people's idea of the straight and narrow didn't appeal to me. If you were my life's companion, as it seems you may turn out to be, I'm contemplating how I hope I'll find you waiting at the very end of this crooked line. Love isn't a trial of strength and weakness, through light into darkness, while some people remark no worthwhile fire ever started without that spark. If you were my life's companion, as it seems you may turn out to be, I'm contemplating how I hope I'll find you waiting at the very end of this crooked line. That's a nice little element of hope.
Yeah, I'm wondering.
Unusual element of hope from Declan.
Yes, I'm wondering time-wise if it was when he was with Diana Krall, which didn't last. Sorry about that, Elvis. We hope that you're very happy, actually, because you deserve to be, having brought so much bitterness and angst to the world.
But wonderfulness.
Yes, absolutely beautiful music. So we're going to finish with the current album, Hey Clockface, 2020. And this song is called No Flag. I got no religion. I got no philosophy. Got a head full of ideas and words that don't seem to belong to me. You may be joking, but I don't get the gag. I sense no future, but time seems to drag. No time for this kind of love, no flag waving high above, no sign for the dark place that I live, no God for the damn that I don't give. I got no illusions, I've had no epiphany. Why should anybody listen to me? She said, I'm tearing up the sheets that your love letters stained. All of your magic powers have drained. No time for this kind of love, no flag waving high above, no sign for the dark place that I live, no God for the damn that I don't give. Here's a line in the sand, a word or two in the aftermath. I'm an arrow that shoots up and down on an advertising graph. I could write you verses and recite more than one, but they're not worth the paper that they're written on. No time for this kind of love, no flag waving high above, no sign for the dark place that I live, no God for the damn that I don't give. We want everything, and we don't want to share. Outer space for the faces we fear. Look in the mirror and see who I used to be. Made out of plastic in a factory. No flag. No flag. So, we would like to thank Elvis Costello for contributing so largely to this programme. And we hope he's having a lovely day. And we hope you are too. I'm Jon Atack.
I'm Ursula Wake. Thank you very much for watching.
Thank you. Bye-bye.